My name is Michael Zent, and I'd like to share a reflection about the Arizona State Hospital going back to 1973. I had the unique opportunity to attend the last official state hospital board meeting. The board had been meeting continuously since territorial times, since the state hospital was originally established. In 1973-74, I was an intern working for Willis H. Bauer, who was then superintendent of the state hospital. And I remember very specifically, as an intern, I was maybe 25, 26 years old, and when the board would come to meet, it was a very formal affair. So everything had to be clean and organized, and the table, and Dr. Bauer said, well, I want you to come into this meeting because this is going to be the last meeting of the board of the Arizona State Hospital. And I don't remember all the names of all the participants, but I remember the ambience very well. And at the same time, they knew it was the last board meeting because the legislation, which was then called House Bill 2004, that combined a number of state agencies into the health department was imminent. So they knew that they were meeting for the last time. What stands out in my mind is the formality of the meeting and the people from the community that came to the meeting. I think it was like a 10 or 12, 14-member board, and everybody sat around the table, and they really had very little business to conduct because this was going to be their last board meeting. But nevertheless, they did take action on agenda items. What stands out in my mind is Dr. Bauer had a set of china that sat under a cabinet underneath a sink in the boardroom. I say he had it, the state hospital had it, and it was used only for the board meetings. And that china had probably been there for, who knows, 50, 70, 75 years. And I remember it was so delicate, and they would take that out and have coffee and pour little cups for their board meetings. So that sticks out very, very much in my mind. And that was the last board meeting. So it was with some sadness that they had that meeting, but also with the realization that the legislation that was abolishing the state hospital hopefully was going to produce better results and combine it with the healthcare system. So that's just my personal reflection. I had the great privilege of being an administrative intern during that time. I'd like to share another story. I think I'm actually the first employee of the Division of Behavioral Health. And how that came about was when the legislation that combined the state hospital, and it wasn't just a state hospital, we had an anatomy board, a pharmacy board, other agencies that were combined at that time. I was an intern, and Dr. Bauer said, I think we're going to be moving down to the health department. Why don't you go down there 6 months ahead of time, and you be my administrative support down there. So I came to the health department in 73, 74, before it was actually folded in, not really kind of as a how would I describe it, as an early administrative arm of the state hospital. So during that time, I had a chance to look at the contracts, to look at the interaction with the legislature, and again, I was very young, so I was always impressed by how the whole operations worked. And I remember now, one thing that stands out is smoking. Now, I know this is a health department, so nobody smokes, but I guarantee you in 73, 74, when I was an intern, every meeting you went to had big ashtrays. And I would say that almost everybody smoked during that time. Now you can't even smoke. I don't even think you can smoke anywhere on the property, but at that time, and that's just how things have changed. So I have very fond memories of the early days at the health department. I have very fond memories of being part of the original formation of the Division of Behavioral Health. And the way I became the first employee is that I had been there 6 months, and Dr. Bauer said, okay, we're forming the Division of Behavioral Health. We want you to stay down here. And I think I can say I was the first employee. Anyway, thank you for the opportunity to share some reflections.
Excellent.
I don't know what...